Every year, video games get bigger and bigger and bigger. Almost every large gaming publisher is producing 1,000-hour experiences that demand as much of your free time as possible so that they can gain more and more opportunities to squeeze even more money out of your wallets. Assassin's Creed, Madden, Destiny are all major examples of this. All of these games are absolutely gigantic, but in their rush to take up as much of their players' time as possible, they've lost sight of what made their previous games special in the first place. In trying to cram as many events and seasons and battle passes and things to do, they've forced themselves into the dangerous habit of recycling assets and older content. This leaves the new content feeling passionless and dreary, as if it wasn't made for the entertainment of players, but instead for the satisfaction of their shareholders. What these developers have lost sight of is that there is a beauty in simplicity. In keeping things short and sweet, developers can create rich and satisfying experiences that will last far beyond the date that their servers shut down. And no game speaks this message better than Alto's Odyssey. Alto's Odyssey and its predecessor Alto's Adventure are built around this core philosophy of keeping things simple. Everything from the core mechanics to the artwork to each game's score follows this tenet to a T. Let's start with the artwork. This game is gorgeous. The lighting is absolutely spectacular. Odyssey smoothly shifts from different weather patterns and times of day while retaining its vibrant color palette, helping diversify each playthrough and reduce monotony. One of my favorite details about this one, something that is more prominent in its first iteration, is that everything is constructed from very basic shapes. Let's take a look at this flower, for example. Its petals are represented by a singular pink diamond which sits above a set of fluid triangles that make up its stem. It seems basic, but the developers use this minimalist aesthetic to its fullest. When storms roll by, the stem will shift back and forth, with the triangles changing dimensions to represent the leaves blowing in the wind. These details help make the game special, and what's more, they are entirely unnecessary. Alto's Odyssey is an endless runner and a very fast-paced one at that. Things don't start out that way, of course, as in any good endless runner, the player must first build up speed by doing tricks and earning points. Each trick landed will give you a boost and allow you to retain momentum and continue building up speed. Eventually, you are breezing past the ground, oftentimes going full minutes without making contact. And knowing this, the developers put care and passion into the game's aesthetic anyway. That care is prevalent throughout the gameplay itself. Playing the game requires only a single tap of the screen, with an additional movement option available later in the game for coins. When you tap the screen, your character will do a hop. In the air, tap and hold to do a flip. The game takes these basic controls and adds onto them in interesting and, most importantly, creative ways. New to Odyssey, jumps can lead to sliding off of a wall, which can then lead to another jump. The tops of balloons can be bounced off of, allowing for even more flips in midair. All of these options are enhanced by the wingsuit, which allows for temporary flight and is recharged by landing combos. These 4 movement options serve to separate Alto's Odyssey from other games in its genre, and even from its predecessor, by keeping the player constantly engaged with what is going on screen with minimal control necessary. Compare this to something like Destiny. Destiny has dozens of more options for movement and combat, and continues to receive more, and yet the methods in which you use those abilities have rarely changed. That's not to say that Destiny or any of the other games mentioned earlier are bad. The problem is that these flashy new abilities do not serve as meaningful ways to change the game's core gameplay, but instead to add minimal variations to it. At the end of the day, you're still killing the same few enemy types in very similar environments over and over and over again until the servers eventually shut down or you've beaten the game. When all is said and done, people aren't going to remember most of their time with the live service games that large publishers are continuing to focus their time on. What they remember are the individual moments with friends or in large-scale boss fights, because otherwise nothing interesting is going on. The reason that games like Mario or Monument Valley or Journey have stayed within the consciousness of the gaming community is that by keeping things simple, they not only excel at the big dramatic moments, but at the little things as well. If developers can take this lesson to heart, I think our games will be better off for it. That's all the time I have for today. I want to thank all of you for watching, tell me what you thought, and please be honest. This is my first video ever, so any and all criticism is highly appreciated. This is Comfy PJs, and I hope you all have a good night.